Hello friends, I am Shivaji Walke. In today's session of agrotourism, we are going to learn about government policies and legislation in respect of tourism sectors or different initiatives or policies taken by the government for the purpose of promoting tourism sector. So for this purpose, government has decided the various policies at state levels and national level. So at state level, particularly for Maharashtra, we have Maharashtra Tourism Policy 2006, then Maharashtra Tourism Policy 2016. And at national level, we have National Tourism Policy 2002 and National Tourism Policy 2015. So we'll begin with Maharashtra Tourism Policy 2006. Maharashtra Tourism Policy 2006 mainly focuses or mainly emphasizes on the following things. First one, that is development of infrastructural facilities at tourist destinations. So these policies mainly focuses on developing the various infrastructural facilities like accommodation facilities, eateries, toilets, information centers at tourist destinations, which will helps to the promoting the tourist sectors or which will helps to increasing the number of count for tourist destinations. Then accessibility to the tourist destinations and wayside amenities, or we can say making easy to reach at tourist destinations or destinations and developing the various wayside amenities. Approach road would be the identified to the various tourist destinations in a Maharashtra's. The roads would be assessed for the suitabilities, carrying the capacities and qualities. So Maharashtra tourism policies mainly trying to create the accessibility to the tourist destinations or trying by developing the various roads and roadside amenities or facilities. Okay, for example, in Maharashtra we have Ashtavinayaks. So Maharashtra is trying to join this Ashtavinayaks by creating the good kind of roads. Okay, so it will lead to the increasing the number of visitors to these destinations. Then third one, development of control regulations at destinations. So for creating the healthy environment for the tourist, it is trying to create the central regulations at destinations or tourist destinations. Development of central regulations would be the prepared to work at guidelines for the development at around an important tourism destinations areas. So this is preparing the guidelines for the tourist destinations and around areas. Okay, so it will create the healthy environment to the tourists. Okay, then recreational facilities at destinations or developing the various entertainment activities or entertainment facilities at tourist destinations. Various entertainment and, activities or facilities for the children's, male, females, then age peoples, younger people, adult peoples. Okay, so for these all age groups, they are trying to prepare or trying to create the various recreational facilities. Then public private partnerships. So Maharashtra Tourism Policy 2006 is trying to develop public private partnerships with various private entities. Okay, this model also called as PPP. P for public, private and partnerships. So by the joining the hand with an private sectors, government is trying to promote these tourism sectors. Okay, for private sectors they are including for this private sector for development of this tourist destinations, then preparing the various infrastructure facilities, then conservation of this in tourist destinations. For this purpose the government is trying to join the hand with an private sectors. Then world heritage sites, conservations and tourism development of 3 heritage sites which are identified the world heritage are Ajanta, Ellora and Elephanta are covered under the external fundings. So this World Heritage sites, majorly Ajanta, Ellora and Elephantas, are receiving the external funds or are receiving the funds from the international institutions or organizations. Then cultural tourisms. We know Maharashtra is having cultures. Okay, Maharashtra is having Maharashtrian foods, then Maharashtrian clothings, then Maharashtrian traditions, Maharashtrian festivals. Okay, so government is trying to promote these Maharashtrian cultures by the theme of cultural tourism sectors. Then application of information technologies for tourism sectors. So nowadays government also promoting the tourism sectors by using the various IT tools, like developing the websites for these tourist destinations, then create the tourism maps. Okay, then create the various promotional campaigns for this important tourist destinations on ITs or on digital networks or on social media networks. Okay, so this is about the Maharashtra tourism policy 2006. Now next one, that is Maharashtra tourism policy 2016. Designate tourism as a priority sectors, since it holds the potential to use an economic development, generate high employment opportunities in Maharashtra, and change the policy will establish. So under the 2016 policies, Maharashtra have decided this tourism sectors comes under the priority lending sectors or the priority sectors. Priority sectors means what? The sectors which are decided by the governments as a priorities, or the preference to that sectors particular given as a first. Okay, for example, we have agricultural sector is comes under the priority sectors. Then women empowerment comes under the priority sectors. So likewise, this tourism sectors also included under the priority sectors, because it having the potential for the economic development or getting the GDPs, then generating the various high number of employment opportunities through these tourism sectors. Then achieve sector growth of 10% annums and share of 15% in GDP through the tourism and tourism related activities. So they have plan for the achieving the growth of 10% per annums and share of 15% within the Maharashtrian GDPs. Okay, GDPs and gross domestic products or gross domestic products from service sectors, majorly from tourism sectors. Okay, so Maharashtra is planning for increasing the growth of this tourism sector at 10% per annum and shares nearly about the 15%. Then generate fresh investment in the tourism sectors to the tune 13,000 crore by the 2015s. So Maharashtra is trying to acquire the investment in this tourism sectors by 2015 nearly about the 13,000 crore rupees. Then create 1 million additional jobs or 1 million additional employment opportunities in the tourism sectors by the 2015s. Okay, then to the continuation of Maharashtra tourism policies 2016, initiatives tourism units in the state by linking it to the package schemes of initiatives 2013 of industries, energies, labor department and any modifications thereafter. The initiatives under these policies are designed as per the need of tourism sectors in the states. So the initiatives are taken by under these policies for the purpose of or by giving the various packages to these tourism sectors. Okay, by through the various departments like energy and labor department or any modifications. Then the initiatives under the policies are designed as per the need of tourism sectors or as per the potential of the tourism sectors in the states. Then key strategies, interventions are identified and special incentives for the respective interventions have been laid down. So for this purpose, government have decided the various strategies or key strategies for promoting the Maharashtrian tourisms. Okay, and identifying the various special and incentives. Okay, what are the various major taxways or which will heighten the Maharashtrian tourism sectors? These sectors or these things have identified the Maharashtrian tourism. Then strengthening of tourism infrastructure, especially in the form of PPP model, that is public private partnership models, then special tourism infrastructural development funds, and CSR activities. So majorly this policy is promoting the or strengthening the tourism sectors by creating the various infrastructural with the help of PPP models, then tourism infrastructural funds, then tourism development funds, and CSR activities. CSR means corporate social responsibilities. CSR. C for corporate, S for social, and R for responsibilities. Okay, then national tourism policies. Okay, before this one, remember 25th Jan is celebrated as a National Tourism Days. Okay, this will be asked in exams. 25th Jan is identified as or celebrated as a National Tourism Days, and 16th May is celebrated as a World Agro-Tourism Day. Then we'll go through the national tourism policies. First one, National Tourism Policy 2002. So these policies majorly comes for the purpose of to enhance employment potentials within the tourism sectors, for increasing the number of job opportunities or create the employment in the tourism sectors. Then to foster the economic integrations through developing linking with the sectors. So for the purpose of fostering the economic integrations or developing the economic integration or joining the economics with another sectors through this tourism sectors. Then harness and direct multipliers effect of tourisms for employment generations, economic development, and providing the impetus to the rural tourisms. So trying to create the harness and direct multiplier effects of tourisms for the purpose of employment generations, economic development, and providing the various things to the rural tourisms. Like rural tourism also include the agro-tourisms. Then focus on the domestic tourisms as a major drivers at tourism growth. So it majorly focus on the domestic tourisms or the locality tourism, or we can also say the rural tourisms or agro-tourisms comes under the domestic tourisms, or the focusing on the Indians things or focusing on the national heritage sites or the national attractive points, or the which things are the majorly attracting these foreigners. Then positions India a global brand to take advantage of bargaining the global travel trade and the vast untapped potentials of India as a tourist destinations. So this policy is trying to create the brands or create the Indian brand at international levels. You might be heard about the incredible India campaigns, okay, which is majorly trying to promote the Indian tourism sectors, okay, within the international levels. Then to the continuation of national tourism policies 2002, acknowledge the critical role of private sectors with the government working as a proactive facilitator and catalyst. So this national policy also trying to develop the PPP model, that is public private partnership models, for the purpose of developing the various facilities and the catalyst in the tourism sectors. Then create and develop integrated tourism circuits based on India's unique civilizations, heritage and culture in partnership with the state, private sectors and other agencies. So this policy is trying to promote or trying to create or develop integrated tourism circuits. Okay, means by with joining with an various unique civilizations things or the heritage and cultural things with the participation of various states, then various private sectors and other agencies. Okay, it is trying to create the integrated tourism circuits by joining national, state, then various heritage sites and various private bodies. Then ensure that tourists to the India get physically invigorated and mentally rejuvenated, culturally enriched and spiritually elevated and feel India from within them. So they are majorly trying to propose or majorly trying to get the happy more number of foreign tourists to the Indian sectors by providing the various Indian things or by giving the mental relaxations or by giving the speciality of Indian tourism sectors. Okay, that is cultural thing, then various spiritual things and other elevating things. Then these are the 7 keys areas which are promoted under the National Tourism Policy 2002. First one, that is Swagat, or we can say welcoming of this tourist. Then Suchna, or we can say information, giving the informations or giving the proper information about the heritage sites or the tourist destination sites. Then preparing the various subidha or facilities, providing the various facilities like accommodation facilities, then eateries, then the toilets, then information centers, then preparing the various plans or developing the various maps for this tourist. Okay, so by providing the various facilities, then surakshas, along with the providing the tourisms, we need to take care or we need to protect the tourists. Okay, so we need to look there, these tourists are not getting hurt from the any natural things or any other things. Okay, from animals or from any roadside accidents or from any civilians. Then sahyog, now sahyog means corporations by joining the hand with an private sectors or by joining the hand from central government to the state government or government to the private bodies. Then Samrachna is an infrastructural facilities development, developing the various infrastructural facilities like road, then connectivity, electricities and other things. Then Safai, that is cleanness. So these are the 7 pillars or areas for the National Tourism Policy 2002. Swagat, Suchna, Suvidha, Suraksha, Sahyog, Samrachna and Safai. These are the 7 pillars for the Indian tourism or the National Tourism Policy 2002. The next one, that is National Tourism Policy 2015. So this policy majorly emphasizes on the visions of developing and positioning India as an must experience and must revisited destinations, emphasizing the aspects of Swachhata, Suraksha and Swagats. So this policy majorly trying to promote as India as a most experience or we should visit, means your foreigner should realize once we need to or once we should visit to the Indias for tourist purpose. Okay, or they must plan for revisit to the India by promoting our things like Swachhata or cleanness, then Suraksha and Swagat, like Atiti Devo Bhava. Okay, so it will help to increase the number of visitors from foreign side. Then it seeks to evoke a framework for tourism development which is government led, private sectors driven and community welfare oriented. So it is also trying to seek or evoke a framework for the tourism developments with the government-led and private sector-driven and community welfare ones. So trying to promote the various frame structures from government, private and community welfare ones. Then it focus on an employment generations, because we know this service sector, within the service sector, this tourism sectors having the potential for the generating the more number of jobs or generating the more number of employment opportunities. Then community participations in the development of tourism industries in a suitable manners. Then emphasis of the policy will be skill development across all segments, including setting up the dedicated universities and tourism hospitality educations and deep technologies things in a tourism sectors. So this policy also promoting the skill development sectors in these tourism sectors. Okay, means by the providing the various trainings to the this tourist operators like agro-tourism operators, or even nowadays so many universities also facilitate the various educational programs. Okay, means there are also MBA in also tourist or MBA in also travel and tourisms. Okay, so by providing the various skill development activities can generate the more awareness or generate the more professionalisms in these tourism sectors. Then National Tourism Advisory Board, that is NTAB, National Tourism Advisory Board, will be set up under the chairperson of Union Tourism Ministers and having tourism ministers of state and union territories and domain expert as a member to the mentor and implementation of the policies. So as per this policies, they have decided to establishment of National Tourism Advisory Board. Remember the short form, National Tourism Advisory Board. This board contain chairperson from Union Minister of Union Tourism Ministers, then minister from the states, then union territories and domain experts, and its member to the mentor and implementation of policies or mentor and implementation of this national tourism policies. Then core infrastructural like developing the airways, then rail lines, roadways, waterways for connecting these various tourist destinations from each others. Then as well as tourist infrastructural like Swadesh Darshans, then Prasad, Buddhist circuits, etc. will be the develops. Okay, so is trying to create the various infrastructural facilities or trying to join these various tourist destinations by good connectivity by through the roadways or through the airlines or through the rail lines, or we can say through the waterways also. Then focus on the domestic tourism as a major drivers of tourism growth and development of promotion of northeast regions and state of Jammu and Kashmir. We know this northeastern states and Jammu and Kashmir, these are the domestic tourism are the main attraction for the foreigners. So is trying to promote this northeast east regions and Jammu Kashmir states. Then to attract foreign tourists, the government will play a more proactive and decisive roles in at a multilateral tourism flora such as South Asian Associations Regional Corporation, that is at SAARC, then Association of Southeast Asian Nations, that is ASEAN, then Indo-Brazil South Africa, that is ISBA or IBSA, then Brazil, Russia's, India, China's and South Africa's, that is BRICS countries, on the themes of link the countries with the Buddhist circuits and Ramayana circuits, Himalaya circuit and heritage circuits. So by the with the help of various multilaterals or the various institutions or national or internationals like SAARC nations, then ASEAN nations, then through the ISBAs like India, Brazil, South Africa, then BRICS nations. Through this way, this policy is trying to promote the tourism sectors, because they have already joined hand for the development of the tourisms. Then, so this is about the national policies or state policies for the tourism sectors. Now, types of tourism legislations. So for this purpose, we have the various legislations. First one, that is protection of the tourist. For this protection of the tourist, we have various acts. Then border controls for transferring that foreigners or tourists from his nation to the our nations. Then quality services to the tourist. Then protection of environment, which you have already studied in the last sessions, that is EPA, Environment Protection Act. Then conservation of historical sites and monuments. Then economic development and determining the relations of various segments of the tourism industries. So these are the various legislations or the acts for protecting the tourism sectors. We have protection of tourist acts, then the border controls act, various quality and service related act, then various environmental related act, then the various conservations for this historical things, then economic development acts, then various relations within various segments of the tourism industries. Then environment protection laws, which I have already studied in last sessions, but then also the Indian Forest Act 1927, then Wildlife Protection Act 1972, then Forest Conservation 1980s, then Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981, then we have Environment Protection Act 1986, then National Environment Tribunal Act 1995, then Coastal Zone Regulation 1991. Okay, so within this Environmental Protection Act 1986, we have missed these things. Okay, so first one, that is MOEF, that is Ministry of Environment and Forest. MOEF, Ministry of Environment and Forest. Then we know at a central level we have central board called as Central Pollution Control Board, that is CPCB, Central Pollution Control Board. Then at state level we have State Pollution Control Board, that is SPCB. Remember this long forms. Okay, so then this is about the whole today's sessions. Now what we learned today? Today we have seen about the legislation for the purpose of promoting the tourism sectors. Okay, so in case of Maharashtra, we have Maharashtra Tourism Policy 2006. Then then another one, Maharashtra Tourism Policy 2016. Okay, every state having different policies. Okay, even Gujarat also they have another policies. Okay, for Gujarat they are promoting through the Amitabh Bachchan. ओके कभी विजिट एक बार तो विजिट कीजिए तुम गुजरात को. ओके कभी आइए गुजरात की भूमि में, और राजस्थान के लिए. सो लाइकवाइज दे आर ईच स्टेट हैविंग देयर ओन पॉलिसीज. देन at national levels we have National Tourism Policy 2002 and National Tourism Policy 2015. So through the campaigning of Incredible Indias, okay, we're trying to promote the national tourisms. Then under the National Tourism Policy 2006, majorly for the purpose of developing the various infrastructure facilities at the tourist destinations, then trying to join the various tourist destinations by the good connectivity of roads, then development of various regulations or control regulations at tourist destinations and around areas, then developing the various recreational facilities or entertainment facilities for the all age groups. Then trying to promote the public-private partnerships in the field of tourism sectors. Then we are also receiving the funds from the external agencies for this World Heritage Sites. Then we are trying to promote our cultural tourisms, that is Maharashtrian tourisms. Okay, like Maharashtrian themes or Maharashtrian clothes, then Maharashtrian foods or Maharashtrian traditions, Maharashtrian festivals. So likewise, we are promoting the cultural tourism sectors. Then application of ITs in a tourisms. Then under 2016 policy, we have seen that they have decided that this tourism sectors is an comes under the priority lending sectors or the priority sectors, because it having the good chance to growth and creating the number of employment opportunities. Okay, so they decided to this sector is supposed to be growth at the 10% per annum, and which will receive the nearly about 15% of the GDP of the Maharashtra. Then trying to generate the turnover nearly about the 30,000 crore rupees up to 2050, sorry, 2025. Then trying to create the 1 million additional jobs by the year of 2025. Then to the continuation from this one, trying to various trying to giving the various package schemes or incentives to these tourism sectors. Then they have identified the various specials and initiatives for their respective of interventions have been laid down. So they have identified the various incentives or the special schemes for these tourism sectors. Then trying to strengthening or trying to more strong of these tourism sectors by public private partnership models, then special tourism infrastructures, then infrastructural development fund and various CSR activity, that is corporate social responsibilities activities funds. Then national tourism sector. Okay, don't forget National Tourism Day is celebrated at 25th May, Jan, and 16th May is celebrated as a World Tourism Day, or World Agro Tourism Day is celebrated at 16th May. Then national policy, under which we have two policy, national policy 2002 and national policy 2015. So this policy majorly trying to create the way for the purpose of creating the employment opportunity in the tourism sectors, then trying to integrate the economies within various sectors, then direct and multiplier effects in a tourism sectors by the employment generation or economic development activities, then focusing on the domestic tourisms as a major tourisms or local tourisms, then position of the India in the at a global levels. Already we know India is an top 10 destination for the tourist. Okay, so trying to promote or trying to develop the Indian brands at a national levels. Then various public private sectors within government working as a proactive facilities, means through the PPP models. Then integrated tourism circuits, means joining the various tourism sectors, tourism centers to the each others. Okay, like a unique civilizations, then heritage and cultures partnerships. Then ensure the tourists to India get an physically invigorated, mentally rejuvenated and culturally enriched, spiritually and elevated. So they are trying to promote an India as a good place for the tourists. Then these are the 7 pillars. First one, that is Swagat. Okay, we already know we are believing that Atityu Devo Bhava, that is welcoming of the tourist. Then Sujna, giving the proper information about this tourist destinations, then providing the various facilities. Then Suraksha, safety of the tourist peoples or the foreigner tourist. Then Sahyog, joining the hand with an various private bodies or various state departments or private entities. Then Samarajna, that is infrastructural development facilities, we can say the good road connectivities, then electricities or other things. Then Safai is an major things. Then under the National Tourism Policies 2015, so they are trying to promote India as an must experience or must revisit destinations. Okay, we are trying to promote India is an must experience is a, or you need to visit again and again. Okay, then by this Swachhata, then Suraksha and Swagat campaign. Then it seek and evoke a framework of for the tourism development, which a government leads and private sectors driven communities. So evoke are developing the various frameworks for the tourism developments. Then focusing on the employment generation. We know this sectors having the more potential for generating the employments. Then preparing the various skill development in these tourism sectors. Okay, or developing the various training programs or the various degree programs in a tourism sectors. So it will help to create the various good quality persons or good qualities employees for these tourism sectors. They can have proper idea about the how to hospitality give to hospitality to various tourists, then how to handle with them, how to talk with them. Okay, then National Tourism Advisory Boards. So government has decided to establish the National Tourism Advisory Boards. Then preparing the various core infrastructure or joining the ways these tourist destinations through airways, railways, then waterways and roadway sites. Then for this purpose, government also joined with various international organizations like SAARC. Remember these long forms: South ASEAN Association for Regional Corporations, then Association of Southeast Asian Nations, that is ASEANs, then is IPSA, that is India, Brazil, South Africa, then BRICS country, it include Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. Okay, by promoting the various Buddhist circuits. Okay, because we know the whole Buddhists are lives in a Asian, in India, China and other states. Then Ramayana circuits, then Himalaya circuit and heritage circuits. Then we have seen the various types of legislations for the purpose of protecting the tourism sectors. So we have legislation like the protection of tourist laws, then border controls, then quality of services, protection of environments, then conservation of heritage sites and economic development, then determining the various relationships with an other segment of industries. Then acts for the tourism sectors, that is environmental protection laws. It includes the various acts like Indian Forest Act 1937 or 27, then Wildlife Protection Act 1972, then Forest Conservation Act 1980s, then Air Prevention and Control of Pollutions Act 1981, then Environment Act 1986, then National Environmental Tribunal Acts. So these are the various acts related to the environments. Then this is a remaining part from the last sessions, which we have not covered in the last sessions. These are the some short form. So first one, that is MOEF, that is Ministry of Environment and Forest. Then CPCB, that is Central Pollution Control Board. Then SPCP, that is State Pollution Control Board. So this is about the whole today's sessions. I hope you have understand. If not, please ask me. Thank you.